This is L2C Media Network, and this is the L2C Sports Final with Steve Baxley, brought to you by the L2C Media Network. Now with the headlines and details of the day in sports, and what a day. Here's Steve Baxley. Bax, man, it's all yours. Hi there, everybody. Yes, I still got the quarantine hair. Oh, God. Anyway, welcome one and all to the Corsican Ball. That's right. This is the L2C Sports Final. I am, of course, Steve Bexley, and I am attired in the truest sense of the word in my sports outfit. Huzzah! So, what'd you like to talk about today? Oh boy, how about this? How about this little bit of a bon mot? How you doing, everybody? Wish we can get that. Oops, hi. There you go. We got big news about a big story that maybe, well, let's put it this way. Dan Snyder's had better days. He definitely, oh boy, he cared about his decision to finally dump the Redskins and the Native American imagery. You know, took what burning down of a few things. Well, that's nothing compared to what's going on. And oh boy, this is wild. On Thursday evening, hello, thank you. On Thursday evening, the Washington Post published a disturbing exclusive, which gave us an insight into the culture of Washington's soon-to-be renamed NFL franchise. According to Will Hobson and Liz Clark, 15 former Washington NFL franchise employees told the Washington Post that they were sexually harassed during their time at the club. Over the past week, as the Post presented detailed allegations and findings to Washington's NFL franchise, 3 team employees accused of improper behavior abruptly departed, including Larry Michael, the club's longtime radio voice. In a statement, the team said it has hired D.C. Attorney Beth Wilkinson and her firm Wilkinson Walsh to conduct a thorough independent review of this entire matter and help the team set new employee standards for the future. The Washington Redskins football team takes issue of employee conduct seriously. While we do not speak to specific employee situations publicly, when new allegations of conduct are brought forward that are contrary to these policies, we address them promptly, the team said. The allegations are included in a time frame from 2006 to 2019, and the Post has categorized them into 2 categories: unwelcome overtures or comments of a sexual nature, and exhortations to wear revealing clothing and flirt with clients' close sale deals. Some of the men who are accused of verbal abuse are members of team owner Dan Snyder's inner circle. Several specific examples of harassment were included in the exclusive, including this disturbing story. Former women employees said the first few weeks at Redskins Park also often came with an informal but invaluable orientation administered privately by veteran female employees who warned them to avoid certain people and places, such as the staircase near the entrance to team headquarters. Lined at the top with transparent plexiglass, the stairs descend from the lobby to the locker room and training area, and someone standing at the bottom can look up the skirt of a woman standing at the top. One former female member of the executive staff learned this lesson early in her tenure, she said. when she looked down to see a male trainer 2 floors down staring right back up, walking step for step with her. The woman said, quote, he even leaned to get a better angle. He wasn't even trying to hide it, end quote. Snyder himself was not accused of acting improperly with women, but they did blame him for an understaffed human resources department and what they viewed as a sophomoric culture of verbal abuse among top executives that they believed played a role in how those executives treated their employees. Snyder also reportedly routinely belittled top executives. One was a former male cheerleader in college, and Snyder once allegedly ordered him to do cartwheels for their entertainment after an executive staff meeting. Julia Payne, who briefly served as vice president of communications for the team in 2003, said, quote, I've never been in a more hostile, manipulative, passive-aggressive environment, and I worked in politics. With such a toxic, mood-driven environment, and the owner behaving like he does, how can anyone think these women would go to HR, end quote. Payne says she did not witness or experience sexual harassment, but did support what many other former employees said about the culture Snyder fostered. The report is also full of text messages from employees that support some of their claims and also includes an entire section devoted to Larry Michael, who retired earlier this week. Quote, said a Washington staffer who afterward mentioned the comment for colleagues, including a veteran female employee, quote, Michael said you can't mess with her, though, because you know she's bleeping every guy on the team, right? The female employee said, I was mortified but not surprised. Years earlier, Michael had squeezed this woman's face after a late-night taping of a team program and told her, quote, she was so cute, end quote, she said. Unwelcomed advances, a volatile environment, and what several women describe as a nightmare allegedly took place at Redskins Park over the last decade. It's incredible to look back less than a year ago and see former general manager Bruce Allen say that the culture is, quote, actually damn good, end quote. This news comes just days after, as we know, Washington announced it was retiring its team name. The franchise's moniker had been a controversial topic for years, with Native Americans petitioning the team to change it on multiple occasions, while Snyder has long been resistant to changing the name, telling USA Today in 2013 that he would never change the name. It's that simple. Never. You can use caps, end quote. However, after stadium naming rights sponsor FedEx, threatened less than 2 weeks ago that it would end its partnership with Washington, the team clearly began to feel real pressure for change, perhaps for the first time. This development certainly does not help the change Washington is trying to embrace. We'll have more on this and hopefully maybe the article in full tomorrow night. And wow. This is definitely, Daniel Snyder's seen better days. This may be his Waterloo, or maybe some other Waterloos coming. It's 20 minutes now past. We welcome you to the all-new L2C Sports Final. And with that report we just spoke of, we have a reaction to that report. When Ron Rivera took over as Washington's new coach, he probably thought it was going to be a standard rebuilding job. He did something similar during his time with the Carolina Panthers, taking over a 2-14 franchise and leading them to the Super Bowl in just 5 years. Instead, he walked into a raging tempest, which included a rushed changing of the team's moniker and a damning report from the Washington Post, which included several specific examples of sexual harassment in the workplace. Earlier tonight, Will Hobson and Liz Clark of the Post shared the stories of 15 former Washington employees who claimed that they survived what was a completely inappropriate experience at Redskins Park in Ashburn. In a statement that served as a response, the team said it had hired D.C. Attorney Beth Wilkinson and her film Wilkinson Walsh to conduct a thorough independent review of this entire matter and help the team set new employee standards for the future. Now, we've already read to the team statement, so we don't need to repeat it again. But this bombshell of a report has nothing to do with Rivera, but he felt led to respond to the disturbing expose just hours after it was published. Quote, Rivera said via John Keim of ESPN, quote, biggest thing we have to move forward. Biggest thing is we have to move forward from this and make sure everybody understands we have policies that we will follow. And that we have an open door policy with no retribution. Plus, my daughter works for the team, and I sure as hell am not going to allow any of this, end quote. Rivera may have had nothing to do with this development, but he will likely have to serve as the leading voice in Washington's recovery. While team owner Dan Snyder was not accused of any sexual harassment, several former employees did blame him for an understaffed human resources department and what they viewed as a sophomore culture of verbal abuse among top executives that they believe played a role in how those executives treat their employees. Snyder also reportedly routinely belittled top executives, as we've mentioned earlier. Now, his future as the team owner at this time is unknown. In this latest situation, coupled with minority shareholders looking to sell their stakes, doesn't bode well for him. Rivera may have been in D.C. for just 6 months, but from this statement, it's clear he's ready to step up to the plate as one of Washington's new leaders. We hope he does the right thing and can steer this team to calmer waters. And waters, they better be calmed. All right. We keep going. Excuse him one. We go now to baseball. And we finally got more trades coming in. The San Diego Padres, Kansas City Royals agreed to a 3-player trade on Thursday, a week before Major League Baseball intends to launch its 60-game 2020 season. The Padres sent outfielder Franchi Cordero and right-handed pitcher Ronald Bolanos to the Royals in exchange for left-handed reliever Tim Hill, according to the teams. 30-year-old Hill is a submariner, who relies on a pair of fastballs, four-seamer and sinker, and a slider. Predictably, he's been more effective against left-handed hitters during his big league career. There goes my mouth, missing the tongue. Holding them to a .524 OPS. He's allowed a .766 OPS against right-handers. Hill is under team control through the 2024 season. At minimum, he represents the fourth notable addition to the bullpen at San Diego since the end of last year, joining Drew Pomerantz, Emilio Pagan, and Pierce Johnson. The Pods also keep all-star closer Kirby Yates instead of trading him. Now, the Padres outfield now seems likely to feature some configuration of Tommy Pham, Trent Grisham, Will Myers, and Josh Naylor. Cordero's departure would seem to pave the way for prospect Edward Olivares to crack the roster as well. The Royals, meanwhile, get a pair of younger and less proven players. Cordero, the 25-year-old Cordero, has hit 240, 306, 431 in 273 big league plate appearances. He has all the physical components to be a productive player, well above average raw power and speed, and a strong enough arm for right field. Alas, Cordero has struggled to make consistent contact at the plate, resulting in a career strikeout rate just short of 39%. He figures to see action in center for the Royals alongside some combination of Brett Phillips and Bubba Starling. The 23-year-old Bolanos made 5 big league appearances last season. He has a wide repertoire, or for those of you down south, repertoire, albeit without a clear out pitch. The Royals figured to give him every opportunity to stick as a starter, but you might as well just say he could wind up a swingman or in a relief role. We continue on. Our Mary, yeah, we do. Excusez-moi. In more baseball news. Oh, this one's a little bit of a bizarro move, but here we go. Here we go. The Washington Nationals are scheduled to host the New York Yankees in the first game of Major League Baseball's regular season on July 23rd. Yet, with a week to go until the opener, the World Series defending champs are undecided on where they're going to be playing their home games, according to Jesse Doherty, Dave Schneider, and Julie Znazmer of the Washington Post. Now, the Nationals are exploring alternate sites, including their Class A affiliate stadium in Fredericksburg, Virginia, because of local coronavirus protocols that could put the club at a complete disadvantage. Now, under DC's guidelines, any individual exposed to COVID-19 must quarantine for 14 days. Under DC 14 days. Per the Post report, the city is unwilling to make exceptions for the Nationals, either for their players or coaches. Now, the Nationals aren't the only team facing pandemic-related logistical problems at the local level. The LA Dodgers are hoping to gain an exception from similar rules. The Toronto Blue Jays haven't yet been fully cleared to play at home by Canada's government. And a number of teams, such as the 5 clubs located in Florida, Texas, and Arizona, among other hotbed states, are having to navigate worrisome local coronavirus situations while gearing up to play the 60-game schedule. Factor in the testing snafus experienced across the league, and it can be argued that Major League Baseball will be wise to reconsider starting its season next week. In fact, I would be wise just to cancel the season altogether. But there is no reason to believe the league is wavering in its commitment to playing the season, at least not at this point. But there may come a time when they may want to make a decision. Now, Major League Baseball had originally planned to begin its season March 26th, but we all know what happened. So it ain't over yet, kids. But we're getting close to the time that maybe Major League Baseball should rethink things. And I mean rethink them. Anyway. Yes, I have the eyeballs that are just going wicked, aren't they? In other news, an NFL report, and wow, this is starting to be more and more like the nightly police blotter than an NFL report. You got the wrong story, guys. Got the wrong story. We already did that. Let's go to page 5. Page 5, guys. If you're listening in the control room, page 5. Page 5, NFL report. Page 5, guys. Page 5.
There you'll find all the information you need to learn more about each member and how to get in touch with them. No matter what you're looking for, click on MidMichigansBest.com to start your search for the best local businesses.
New York, I've already done the blotter bit. New York Giants kicker Aldrich Rojas has been formally charged with 3 misdemeanors in the Superior Court of California, stemming from a high-speed hit-and-run, according to the New York Daily News. On Wednesday, Butte County Deputy District Attorney Glenn Jennings filed a criminal complaint that charged the 25-year-old Rojas with recklessly driving on a highway, hit and run, and property damage, and driving with a suspended or revoked license due to a previous DUI of alcohol or drugs. Rojas' first court appearance is scheduled for September 4th. He was arrested on June 15th with his hands, legs, and bare feet covered in blood after a high-speed hit and run near Chico, California at 8:25 a.m. Now, witnesses stated that Rojas was driving his black Chevrolet SUV anywhere from 90 to 100 miles per hour when he boned a Ford pickup truck after running a red light. While the driver of the Ford truck did not report any injuries, witnesses stated that the decision was only a split second away from being much worse. Officers eventually found Rojas, who fled the scene of the accident on foot, about 3.5 hours later. He was walking on down collision.
Mine are looking a little droopy and sad. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there with mine. So that watering can is very good advice. Thanks for staying up late with us. Be safe. See you tomorrow.
There you go. Okay. 3.5 hours. You're walking downtown street about a mile and a half away from the crash. The reporting officer. Thank you for interrupting a live broadcast. That's okay. The reporting officer noted that alcohol impairment is believed to be a factor in the collision. Butte County District Attorney Mike Ramsey stated that Rojas was never subject to a breathalyzer or any test to confirm that he was indeed impaired. Rojas was cited and released later that afternoon with no bail, which is a standard procedure for such charges, or chargers, depending. This is, however, not Rojas's first rodeo with the law. In 2016, he was convicted of driving under the influence. Do you see a pattern here, kids? Do we really have to tell you and teach you that drugs are bad, drinking bad while you're driving? DUI. That means driving under idiocy. Think about it next time you do something like that, kids. You don't want to wind up like these bungwads. A 2018 Pro Bowler, Rojas was coming off a rocky 2019 campaign that saw him miss 5 field goal attempts and 4 extra points. He did hit a couple of partridges in a pear tree, though. Despite last year's struggles, the Giants placed a second-round tender at a cost of $3.26 million on Rojas earlier this offseason. They may want to rethink that. During his first 3 seasons with the Giants, he made 82.7% of his field goal attempts and 91.5% of his point-after attempts. During his Pro Bowl season, he made all but one of his 33 field goal attempts and 97% of his point-after attempts. You want to know what the Giants said? Well, so do I. What did the Giants say? Of course, the simple. We are aware of the situation and have been in contact with fill-in-the-blank's name. We have no further comment at this time. You gotta love sports. At least I. How many little Chotskis are we into this? 23 minutes? Hey, we've been on the air for 23 minutes, and I've only screwed up about 3 times. We're going to take a little verbal break here. For some of us, that verbal break will include the following little soliloquy. Coming up tonight on Mercado Law. That's right, it's time for Lost Blaming the Interwebs. And if you thought last night's show was great, where do you see this show? Not this show. This show is just mediocre at best. But Nick Rekieta, the humblest of all Minneapolis, let's try that again. Nick Rekieta, the humblest of all lawyers in the world, in the hemisphere. They don't do commercials. They don't have blow-dried hair. Nor do they have fancy pants clients or commercials about. Maybe they should. But you want to know what they're going to talk about on this here fun little thing that we like to call Lost Blaming the Interwebs? That's right. Part 6 of Conversations by Proxy. Just how low can that little weasel Ronte go to prove that he's a dum-dum. He's a dum-dum potato head. We're going to find out. Nick Rekieta, live tonight, midnight Eastern. Grab your favorite whiskey. Join him for Conversations by Proxy, the interview that refuses to end. Tonight, midnight Eastern, on the Rekieta Law channel only on das YouTube. Yeah, that's, we're neighbors. Yeah, not, personal neighbors, just channel neighbors. So, Thank you very much. And I know I blew up the logo too big. Don't worry. I'll shrink it to where it'll properly fit the plug. Okay, so all that is good. What else? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we got some wrestling reports for you. And of course, we'll take a look at the awfully good ratings in the wrestling report tonight. Tomorrow we'll have some other wrestling reports and fill your mind with love. But if you saw Wednesday night's big old AEW show, that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, all that, a whole lot more. Please, 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 for goodness sakes and every other sake you can think of, by all means, join Nick and enjoy the Conversations Part 6. Oh, it's a festival. That's what it is. It's a festival. Only on YouTube and nowhere else. That's right, nowhere else. Nobody's got that. Okay, our little Shamanta Fu, which is, of course, the L2C sports final with Steve Baxley. I am Steve Baxley. If I wasn't, would I actually be named? And we have a sort of welcome home or welcome tone before we go into mini sport. All of us here at the sports final would like to congratulate Rico Beard, Spartan true and true. Well, Rico Beard has just been named the new official co-host for the brand spanking new Mike Valenti show. That's right. Rico Beard. Yes, indeed. And I will tell you this, folks. I'm just going to say it this way. It's going to be fun in August. That's right. You heard me. It's going to be fun in Augusto. And we got a little bit of the Chapalapas. Let's give you that. He is a longtime sports veteran. And he is, of course, joining Mike Valenti, the popular weekday time slot from 2 to 6. His debut will be on August 3rd. Now, the pairing of Valenti and Beard brings together two highly opinionated gabbers that will make for an interesting mix on the last remaining local sports talk station in the Mota City. Beard told the Detroit News, quote, "It's an opportunity that I've been waiting on for a very long time, to be a voice back in the city of Detroit. This is something that I'm very excited about." Now, Intercom, the parent company, or as they like to be called now, radio.com, apparently, for 97.1 The Ticket, announced the move on Thursday. Now, Mike Valenti has been the solo host on the show for the past 3 years. Now, prior to that, he has worked with former Detroit News columnist Terry Foster on the highly successful Sports Inferno, which then Vulcan Mind melded into the Valenti and Foster show for 13 years until Foster retired in 2017. Now, Valenti said in a statement, quote, "I've wanted to work with Rico for several years now, and it's simply fantastic. The occasion has arrived. Adding Rico to our show represents a massive opportunity not only to stay at number one, but to evolve and become even stronger. I'm really proud of the show recreated," end quote. Now, Beard has worked in the television and radio industry in Michigan for more than 2 decades, most recently hosting the Spartan Beat podcast. He is also one of the many sports panelists for the very popular Sunday night Gab Fest on WSYM TV, Fox 47, with Jack Ebling and company. And I wish I knew the title of the show. I wish I had studied up a bit more. I wish I was a frog. Anyway. But he also had a 3-year stint with the now defunct 1051 Detroit Sports on a show called The Ryan and Rico Show with co-host Fox 2's Merry Little Smurf, Ryan and Marnie. And he said that when Valenti reached out, and when Rico said, when Valenti reached out, asked him to join the show in 97.1, boom. That was huge. When Mike called me, I thought he was trying to prank me. I thought it was a joke. I'm not coming in to be Mike's cheerleader. I'm coming in to push and challenge him. Oh, joy! Valenti and Beard have, I'm going to say this. They got thunder and lightning personalities. And how they mix on the air will be interesting, as will their past affinities for Michigan State sports. He's been Valenti has been critical of the MSU program, and Beard, who's also well connected in Spartan circles, isn't afraid to say how exactly he feels, good or bad. Oh, this is going to be fun. But as we like to say, with every yang, there is a yin. And unfortunately, the show will be sailing the seas of ratings nirvana without their stalwart producer, Mike Sullivan. While Valenti had been the solo attraction on the show for the past 3 years, producer and contributor Mike Sullivan, or Sully, has had an increased role. Along with the announcement of Beard's hiring, Intercom revealed that Mike Sullivan's 6-year career with 97.1 will end on July 31st. Valenti said in the statement, Sullivan has meant a lot to this show, to this station, and to me personally. I wish him all the success in the world. So, we welcome, embrace, we endure, and we try to find out what Jack Ebling's WSYM show is. Hang on. I know it's not the Sports Diner. But what is it called? The Press Pass. Thank you, boys. Thank you, Control Room. God bless our Control Room. They know what they talk about. And bless. Okay. The Press Pass. That's right. Press Pass. Yes. Press Pass. And he's also heard on The Drive with Jack Ebling, which used to be on 92.1 FM, but has been regulated when they changed formats to the internet of Spotlight Productions, a Lansing-based media firm. So there you go. So congratulations, Rico Beard. And on August 3rd, we're going to have to maybe have the show on a 5-second. Oh boy, this is going to be a rich one. I mean, I have a feeling no other sports radio thing will take a challenge. I'm not even sure that guy in Grand Rapids will be challenging, but it's going to be fun to just watch and find out. See how good this show goes. It's like seeing how this show goes. Anyway, we continue. Why? Because I want to. Speaking of wrestling, let's give you a little wrestling report while we can. And we say congratulations, huzzah, to Charlotte Flair, or if you're here in Michigan, Charlotte Flair. Big news, El Grande news, because I do believe that is no longer single. That she and Andrade have, are now a couple. That's right. Charlotte Flair and Andrade are apparently engaged. Ooh, yes. And, let's put it this way. He proposed. She said yes. So we congratulate the pairage. Huzzah. And success to both. There, see? We've already done that. They are the second pair of elite WWE superstars to pledge to tie the knot in recent months. Of course, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are going to be tying the knot. So we say congratulations. That's about good. That's good news. It's good news, isn't it? Yes, that is good news. And Fight for the Fallen. Oh, aren't you going to love this? Fight for the Fallen, last night's AEW Dynamite live broadcast. Courtesy of Showbuzz Daily, AEW's Dynamite, the Fight for the Fallen episode scored 788,000 viewers, while NXT's normal mess on the USA Network topped 631,000. AEW dominated the night in the cherished 1849 demo. Dynamite scored a .29 rating in the demo, beating the .14 rating that NXT drew in the same demo by a whopping 107%. It was the largest gap in the demo since the March 25th episode. Dynamite ranked number 5 in the demo for that night, while NXT came in at a disappointing 49th. Wow. AEW once again topped all one most except for the 50 and over crowd. So you look at it this way, they're causing a lot of damage for WWE. In more heart-pounding news, there have been reports, unconfirmed, that Billy Corgan, who owns the NWA, is sort of having buyer's remorse due to the COVID-19, and he may want to be selling the organization, the promotion. Well, Billy Corgan took to Twitter and gave his story. Please tell me we do. Yes. So now, let's give you the words, and I'll give you my opinion on it. The NWA shooting down a lot of rumors that he was thinking of shutting down the company or selling it altogether. As noted, Raven was a guest on Hannibal TV and said NWA may be closing after Vice President Dave Lagana was among those named in the hashtag Speaking Out movement. Lagana later resigned from the company. Raven said during his appearance, quote, "I heard through the grapevine that Billy is not opening it back up and he is disillusioned," end quote. Corgan has since posted the following statement about the status of the NWA. Quote, "A quick note about the National Wrestling Alliance, which I fought for and won ownership of a few years back. We are not shutting down, so please disregard any and all rumor to effect. The NWA is not and will not be for sale, and those talent who are under contract remain under contract for a reason, which is that we at the NWA are trying to figure out a way to provide our great fans with wrestling content in a very, very tough environment. That tough environment, for those that need more knowledge, is the COVID-19 situation. And most importantly, keep our talent safe and the standard of production you've come to expect from us at a high level. Anything less, in my opinion, is unacceptable. So yes, appreciate the interest, appreciate the chatter, but don't appreciate the unsourced rumors and speculation." End quote. And by the way, for those of you in, I think it's Arizona, yes, that is Joe Galley news anchor, news reporter, and virtual bon vivant. He does the newscast, I think, for the local Fox affiliate down there. Salut. I wonder if he's related to Brad Galley of Channel 7 here in the Michigan area, WXYZ out of Detroit, the sports director there. I have to find that out, don't we? Okay. Let us go from that. Let us see how far we've gone. 41:35. Okay, let us sashay over to what we like to call the scoreboard. That's right. It's time to get you on with the scoreboard. And by the way, wasn't it nice? Not only can you see the inter-squad games on YouTube, but tonight in the Tigers took on the Tigers live. There was baseball finally at Comerica Park. Although there were no fans, you could just smell the peanuts, the Cracker Jack, the sushi, the high prices. So, hey, welcome back, Tigers. Welcome back, baseball. Who cares what the final score is? We saw baseball, and I'll tell you one thing. The Tigers have got some damn good talent. Players. Speaking of baseball, we gotta speak highly on that because we got some baseball news for you. I know we're getting close to midnight. I know we got to do soccer and the baseball, then whatever the heck else we got. Scoreboard.com/EN for English. So here we go with the scoreboard. And I'm just giddy as a schoolgirl in heat. I know that was a bad thing to say, so I'm sorry about that, folks. But here we go. Let's kick it off with the Premier League. Everton and Aston Villa tied at 1. Leicester City over Sheffield United 2-0. Manchester United over Crystal Palace 2-0. Southampton and Brighton 1-up. In Italy, Serie A, Torino over Genoa 3-zip. 3-zip. Inter defeated Spal 4-zip. Spain's La Liga, Eibar over Valladolid 3-1. Leganés over Athletic Bilbao 2-zip. Osasuna over Barcelona 2-1. Alves over Betis 2-1. Levante over Celta Vigo 3-2. Athletic Madrid, I think it's Athletic Madrid, over Getafe or Get a Life 2-0. Granada over Mallorca 2-1. Real Madrid over Villarreal 2-1. Seville over Real Sociedad. Goose Eggs Valencia over Espanyol 1-0. Let's take a look at, a brief look at some club-friendly scores. Rennes over Châteauroux, 3-0. Soroki Prague and Velez Molstar, Goose Eggs in a tie. Nice and Celtic had a 1-1 tie. Camber over Harkness Boys, 4-1. Javor and Nova Pazar are about to get started. Baltica and Breisnik are Goose Eggs. They ended like that. In the basketball, in Japan, the NPB, the Chunichi Dragons, defeated and blanked the Yokohama Bay Stars 8-0, 8-11-0 for the Dragons, 0-8-0 for the Bay Stars. Okano for the Dragons gets the victory. He's 2-1. Nakagawa for the Bay Stars. That's his first loss. He's yet to win. Yeah, Hashin Tigers over the Yakut Swallows, 6-4, 6-9-1 Tigers, 4-10-0 for the Swallows. Iwasaki for the Tigers gets the win. He's 2-1. Shimizu for the Swallows is 0-1 with the loss. The Omuri Giants over the Hiroshima Carp, 9-4. What a way to semi-make a living. Giants 9-10-0. Carp 4-10-0. Yabuda for the Carp gets a loss. He's 0-1. Mercedes for the Giants gets a win. He's 1-2. Chibalali Marins over the Nippon Ham Fighters 4-3, 4-10-0 for the Marins, 3-9-1 for the Ham Fighters. Verhagen for the Ham Fighters gets a loss. He split it. He's 1-1. Iwashida for the Marins got his third win in a row. The Fuquoia Silverhawks over the Oryx Buffaloes 3-4. The Oryx Buffaloes over the Fuquoia Silverhawks 4-3, 4-9-2 for the Buffaloes, 3-9-0 for the Hawks. Yamasaki let the good times roll for the Buffaloes. He got his first win, while Vandenherk for the Hawks got his second loss. He's 1-2. The Rakuten Golden Eagles over the Cebu Lions 7-4, 7-10-1 for the Eagles, 4-9-0 for the Lions. Anraku for the Eagles got his first win of the season, while Takahashi split him. He's 2-2. Nicaragua CMBS playoffs, and boy, was this a slobber knocker. Esteli over Dantos 16-6, 16-19-1. Took 8 innings on that game. Dantos 6-7-2. They probably had the mercy roll going. South Korea, the Korean baseball organization, Deuce Ayers over the SK Wyverns 4-2, 4-10-2 for the Bears, 2-7-1 for the Wyverns. NC Dinos over the Kiwoon Heroes 9-1. What a way to make something other than a living. 9-14-0 Dinos, 1-7-0 Heroes. KT Wiz Swung over the Hanwha Eagles 4-1, 4-7-0 for the Swan, 1-6-0 for the Eagles. Lottie Giants and the LG Twins kind of scored 25 runs, but the Giants beat the Twins 15-10, 15-15-0 for the Giants, 10-16-2 for the Twins, and the Samsung Lions beat the Kia Tigers 8-7, 8-14-0 for the Lions, 7-8-1 for Los Tigres. And in Taiwan, the CPBL first stage was the China Trust Brothers over the Fubon Guardians 4-3, 4-13-0 for the Brothers, 3-10-0 for the Guardians. We did it. Yes, we did it. Just me and the missus. Okay, and there's your scoreboard, which leaves us one more item to do, and that is our shout-outs. Yes, sir. Got to get those shout-outs in. Got to get them in. I thought I had troubled hair. Oh, boy. That puppy's got a hair. Here. Let's also say hi. You think maybe let's just see here. Let's see. Oops, made the wrong error. It's the All-Star game. We already had that. Chase Elliott. Yeah. Anyway. Let's get over here, making sure we do not violate any rule. So let's get you to the madness. That is our hellos. And we say hello to Brenda Dixon. Hello to January J. Keaton. Hello to Ricky Pickrell. Hello to Matthew Nichols, Sherry Nichols, Nancy Nichols, to Rick Aka, Emery Man, Jay the Brain Man, Robert G.R. Monk, Brenda Dixon, Bobby Langford, Cleo Glide, Brenda Gaminsky, Donna Payne, Amy Hayes, Stacy Hayes, Frida Hayes, and my boy, Mr. Magnetism, A. Oberhoff, Matt Zivich, Sammy Phillips, Samantha O'Neill, Casey Ann, Monica Cram, Gary Cram. We say hello to Bruno Renew, Mario Lou, Truth Martini, Soraya Fidel, Crystal Hart, Heather Dibble Austin, Chris French, Chris Lewis, Kimberly Wells, Butch Cassidy. We say hello to Marley Wiley, Jeff Rollo, George Templeton, Blind Lemon. I keep bong boom. Hey. We also say hello to Nellie K9, Mrs. Nellie K9, Harold Robbins, Dwight Duan, his lovely wife, my cousin Myra Baxley Duan, Manuela Marchigani, Mike Sparks, Sandra Douglas, Vanessa Douglas, Sabrina Kyle, Andrea Isom, Tyke Prado, Ralph Gautier, Brandon Metzler, Rihanna Johnson, Chad Nappy, Samantha already mentioned, George Dow, Stephen Miller, Magumba, my friend. We say hello to Jessica Hall. We say hello to Roman Ronan, Patty Riley, Michael Pickrell, I've already mentioned, Keith Goodwin, how you doing? Brian Mann, Linda Miller, Betty Osterhouse, Ronnie Davis, We say hello to Joseph Radcliffe, Regal Flores, Michelle Townsend. We say hello to Suzanne M., Harold Bickford, Paul Kowalski, Richard Kennedy, Bear Claw, Wesley Snell, Jeremy Coates, Arlene Boyd, Morgan Dunlap. Of course, the Miracle Man, Theron Styles, Randy Sheets, Paul Selwinski, Dale Stanke, Brian McFeeters, Chris Parnham, and Alabama Cole, as well as now we go from there to Twitterland. That's right. We're going to try to do this as fast as we can because everybody's crazy about a sports loving man. We say hello to Pete Oeda, Lena Nguyen. Yeah, Lena Nguyen. We also say hello to Louisa Fernanda, Ivy McKellen. We say a big time how do to Ali Hoxie. Yes, hi there. Wyatt Holiday. Of course. Mandy Summers, Peter Gilmore. We also say hi to Sean Broyles, to Rebecca, to Mia St. John, to Alex Seams, Audrey Dogger, Nick Mantis, and all my friends over at TV6, the lovely Miss Linda Steele, and everyone else in Chi-Town City. And folks, we say hello to everyone on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at homes all around the world. And folks, we do that because that's the last thing on our list. So we thank you very much for tuning in to a very unusual broadcast. How unusual? We made it without maybe 5 to 6 little tongue and teeth bloopers. Hey, it's par for the course. We've did it. We've done it. It's about time for us to go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget Nick Ricada. He's already in the room and ready to give you some lost planing the interwebs on the Ricada Law channel. Don't forget, for more sports coverage, Sports Central USA coming soon to a thing, to either a Facebook Live or a YouTube channel nearest thou. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and until we meet again, good night, America, wherever and whomever you are. And if no matter what sports you love, may your favorite team always be a winner. And this has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. And from all of us here at L2C Sports, I'm Steve Baxley. We will see you tomorrow at about 11:45, 11:50. Right after we do our thing with Spreaker on the Last Call Cafe. And boy, we got a loaded show on that. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Good night. God bless. And stay safe.